Hi, I'm Rick McGavick, Associate Director of the Siemens Field Support Group. Today I'll be introducing the S-80 Smart Gate Mechanism, our next-generation gate mech meant to replace the S-60 in all functional applications. The S-80 is equipped with a brushless DC motor, providing smoother gate operation with soft start and stop. This reduces wear and tear on the drivetrain. The brushless motor also means no brush maintenance required, extending the life of the motor. The mech also comes with 6 digital contacts, eliminating the need to adjust the cams or contacts like in the S-60. Let's go over some of the components inside the mechanism. This is the main control board. Components attached to the main control board via connectors at the bottom of the board. Above the connectors are the fuses for the adjustable digital contacts. On top of the main control board is the operating mode switch. It replaces the gold nut test link configuration used in previous models. It allows you to switch between normal and maintenance operating modes. Below we have the power down button. When you're in maintenance mode, this allows for the safe power down of a broken gate arm. Install the lock bar to keep the mechanism in the down position so the gate arm can be repaired. To the left we have the 12 diagnostic LEDs display and 4 menu buttons allowing access to important information like the motor's power state, battery voltage, and contact programming. And lastly, on the entrance gate components, we have the brushless DC gear motor, electric brake, and the gear train with main shaft. Again, this motor is brushless. This means no maintenance and increased longevity of the motor. The gearbox portion of the motor is permanently sealed with Mobile 33 grease, which also requires no maintenance throughout the lifetime of the mechanism. The S-80 gate mechanism can be set up in 2 configurations as an entrance gate or an exit gate. As an entrance gate, when the GC input is energized, the gate arm rises from the horizontal to the vertical position. It is held in the clear position by the electric brake. When the GC input is de-energized, the electric brake releases and the arm is driven from the vertical to the horizontal position. Unlike previous S-type gate mechs, the S-80 drives the gate arm down through the entire descent of the arm. With the simple change of a jumper on the back of the PCB, the S-80 can be converted into an exit gate. The exit gate operates in reverse of the entrance gate to drive the motor to fail up to a minimum of 70 degrees without power. When GC is removed, voltage will be applied to the motor and the gate will drive until vertical. At that point, the motor power is removed and the brake is set. The S-80 control board holds all logic for both entrance and exit gate configurations. No additional daughter PCB is necessary. Next, let's go over the menus on the S-80. On boot up, you will see this message. Cycling next will take you to the Program menu, where you can adjust gate mechanism settings. With Program Gate Descent Time, you can view or change the time from the GP contact opening to the gate being horizontal. The default is 12 seconds but can be changed between 10 to 15 seconds. Program Gate Ascent Time allows you to view or change the time. This is also defaulted to 12 seconds but can be changed between 10 to 12 seconds. With Program Up Position, you can view or change the gate arm vertical position in degrees. The default here is 88 degrees, but can be changed from 70 to 88 degrees. Program Contact 1 Offset allows you to view or program Relay 1. This determines the gate angle the GP contact closes below the programmed up position. This is defaulted to 5 degrees, but can be adjusted from 2 to 5 degrees. Program Contact 2 is non-programmable. This is set so that when the gate angle is less than 5 degrees, the contact is closed, and when the angle is above 5 degrees, it is open. Program Contact 3 through 5 allows you to view or program Relay 3 through 5 to any angle from 1 to 88 degrees. It is defaulted to 83 degrees. Program Contact 6 for the bell allows you to view or program Relay 6. You can adjust this contact to be open or closed in the horizontal position from 0 to 88 degrees. It is defaulted to 5 degrees. If set to 0, the bell will sound even when the gate is fully down. With the gate arm length option, you can view or program the gate arm length in increments of 1 foot. This parameter is for future use and automatic weight adjustments. Arm retention allows you to enable or disable gate arm retention. When enabled, the gate arm is actively maintained in the down position. If an attempt is made to raise the gate by pushing the gate arm up, the motor will turn on to drive the gate arm back down. When arm retention is disabled, the gate arm is not actively maintained in the down position and could be raised manually. Program Set to Default allows you to set all parameters back to the default parameters. and resettable cycle count allows you to reset the number of complete cycles counter. This does not impact the cycle count shown in the status menu. Finally, Calibrate Home Position is used to calibrate the S-80 to a known position specified by the horizontal buffer when the gate is installed. Exit the program menu and then click Next to view the status menus. Here you will see the following: battery voltage, which displays the battery voltage in volts DC, motor current, which displays the motor current in amps, PCB temp, which shows the PCB temperature, gate mechanism mode, which displays either entrance or exit gate based on the position of the jumper on the back of the PCB. Cycle count displays the number of complete cycles of the gate down, then back up. Run count shows you the number of cycles, including partial cycles of the gate down. This number may be larger than the cycle count. FW/SW, which displays the firmware and software versions. When installing a unit, you must calibrate home position and weight adjustment. For calibrating home position, you will need the gate arm in the horizontal position, resting against the horizontal buffer. Enter the program menu and scroll with the Next button to calibrate home position. Click Enter and it will ask you to confirm. Press Enter again to begin calibration. You should see this message. If so, your calibration is complete. If it displays error gate not down ± 18 degrees, then check the position of the gate arm to verify it's resting on the buffer and repeat the calibration. When adjusting the weights for horizontal and vertical torque, you'll need a few extra tools. A torque wrench with a range of 20 to 250 inch-pounds that has a digital readout with tracking mode, a 1/2 inch socket for the torque wrench, and a 5/16 inch wrench or ratchet with a 5/16 inch socket. To set horizontal torque, make sure the gate is in the horizontal position. Place the torque wrench onto the 1/2 inch hex of the gear motor output shaft. This is the same location as where the lock bar is applied. Turn the torque wrench clockwise until the segment gear is no longer resting on the horizontal buffer. Hold the torque wrench stationary and ensure the gate arm is not bouncing, and then read the torque value on the torque wrench. Slowly release tension on the torque wrench and allow the segment gear to rest on the horizontal buffer. Repeat steps 2 through 4 3 times to obtain an accurate average reading for the horizontal torque. Compare the value from step 5 to table 4-3. If the horizontal torque measured is lower than indicated in the table, move the counterweights closer to the main shaft. If the horizontal torque measured is higher than indicated in the table, move the counterweights further from the main shaft. If the horizontal torque measured is within range, tighten the adjustment nuts on the counterweights. Then tighten the counterweights stud plate nuts on the opposite side from the counterweights and proceed to set the vertical torque. To set vertical torque, raise the gate arm to the vertical position either manually or automatically. To do this manually, open the test links on the battery terminals 4 and 5 to remove power from the mechanism. With the gate arm in the horizontal position, install the lock bar onto the 1/2 inch hex of the gear motor output shaft. Using the lock bar, hand crank the mechanism to the vertical position per section 4.6.1 of the manual. Once the gate is in the vertical position, engage the slot in the lock bar with the reaction pin. To do so automatically, apply 12 or 24 volts DC to the gate control terminals. The gate arm will raise to the vertical position. Open the test links on the battery terminals 4 and 5 to remove power to the mechanism. Install the lock bar onto the 1/2 inch hex of the gear motor output shaft, ensuring that the slot in the lock bar is engaged with the reaction pin. Apply a 5/16 inch wrench to the brake end of the gear motor to relieve pressure from the lock bar. Remove the lock bar and use the 5/16 inch wrench to keep the gear motor stationary. Install the torque wrench onto the 1/2 inch hex of the gear motor output shaft. Gradually release the pressure from the 5/16 inch wrench until full gate arm torque is held by the torque wrench. Hold the torque wrench stationary and ensure the gate arm is not bouncing. Read the torque value on the torque wrench. Use the 5/16 inch wrench to hold the gear motor stationary and release pressure on the torque wrench. Repeat steps 5 through 7 3 times to obtain an accurate average reading for the vertical torque. Install the lock bar onto the 1/2 inch hex of the gear motor output shaft and engage the slot in the lock bar with the reaction pin. Use the 5/16 inch wrench to release the drivetrain pressure until full gate arm torque is held by the lock bar. Compare the torque value determined earlier to table 4-4. If the vertical torque measured is lower than indicated in the table, move the counterweights closer to the mast. If the vertical torque measured is higher than indicated in the table, move the counterweights further from the mast. If the vertical torque measured is within the range indicated in the table, tighten the adjustment nuts on the counterweights. To safely lower the gate arm, be sure the motor plug is connected to the main board. With the main board still powered off, apply the 5/16 inch wrench to the gear motor to keep it stationary. Remove the lock bar from the 1/2 inch hex of the gear motor output shaft. Release the motor brake by removing the 5/16 inch wrench. The gate arm will descend to the horizontal position. Reapply the power to the gate mechanism by closing the test links on terminals 4 and 5. And that's all for the weight adjustments on the S-80 gate mechanism. Lastly, let's go over the maintenance of the unit. The S-80 mechanism has sealed bearings on the main shaft, so no bearing lubrication is required. Gears should be coated with a thin film of all-temperature grease such as Mobile Grease 33 or Aeroshell. The grease is applied at the factory, so no initial lubrication is required during installation. To ensure proper operation of the brake, maintain an air gap of 0.015 inch minimum and 0.020 inch maximum between the armature plate assembly and the brake housing. The air gap is factory set to 0.015 inch and will gradually increase as the brake wears. This wear happens extremely slowly as the soft stop feature almost brings the gate to a complete stop before the brake engages. The brake should be inspected periodically to ensure the air gap is maintained. If an air gap adjustment is necessary, remove the brake collar set screw using a 2.5 mm Allen wrench. Apply a single drop of Loctite 243 to set screw threads. Do not pour Loctite into the threaded hole. Reinsert the brake collar set screw loosely into the collar. Set the air gap to between 0.015 inch and 0.020 inch using 2 automotive feeler gauges, one on either side of the motor shaft. Fully tighten the set screw in the collar. Thanks for watching our overview of the Siemens S-80 gate mechanism. All manuals and training videos can be found online or scan the QR code in this video. As always, if you have any questions on troubleshooting, feel free to give us a call on our technical support line. Thanks again, and have a safe day.